Hi there, Tracy here with a really quick scrapbooking process video. Today I used the Oh Dear Me kits from December and from January. And if you would like to grab these kits, you can hop on over to freckledfawn.com to check out their kit club and buy the kits either individually or sign up for a membership. So I'm going to be scrapbooking today using this photo, these embellishments, and now I just have to go and get some paper and try to figure out what paper I'm going to use. So in order to do that, I'm going to put out some of the embellishments that kind of set the color tone here. So I want to be able to refer to the chipboard pieces because I want to use them. And basically these floral pieces, I really want to use these. So actually, if I brought this over to my paper with me, that would be a good way for me to pick colors of paper. I want most of the embellishments on this page to be embellishments, so I don't want a whole lot of heavy paper layers. I might actually just get one piece of pattern paper and then use a piece of tissue paper or something as a mat. So I will walk you through that whole process as well. So here I am over at my cubes where I store my paper. I store them vertically using these tabs and folders, which I will link in the information section if you'd like a video that shows you how I made these folders. And so what I'm looking at right now is my wood/ledger paper. So I keep my wood grain and ledger paper all together, and I picked out two pieces of that to be potentially backgrounds or just neutral pieces. And then I looked in my red folder, and now I'm looking in my blue folder here, and I just make my folders with Ziploc bags and some up tab punch and some chipboard. And so I'm starting off with these three pieces of paper. And so this one is from Simple Stories, Snap Basics, and I really like that wood grain. And then this one looks like a school paper, and this is a school photo. And so I'm thinking about using this one perhaps as a mat. It's from My Little Shoebox, and it's an older paper from 2010. It's called Summer Breeze Spring Shower. And I'm going to use my ruler to tear this, and I'm tearing it fairly straight. I just want it to be just a plain mat for around the photo. I thought about using a darker mat all the way around, and I on second thought, I think that might have looked better to put maybe a very small dark mat all the way around the photo and then mat that on the background, on that mat of school paper. But this is what I went for. I felt like the contrast was enough between the edges of the photo and the mat behind it. So I just went with it, and it does look good. I like it. I'm not sure if I would like it even more if I added an extra mat in a darker color. I guess the jury's out on that. I'm proceeding to arrange these acetate flower pieces in a little cluster in the top and bottom corners, as you see right here. And then I thought about adding some things into that cluster, and then I just decided it would be too difficult. The acetate is see-through, so it gets kind of distracting, and I just like it better with just the acetate flower pieces. I'm lining up all of these chipboard pieces all along the side here so that it becomes all of these sentiments that I'm almost thinking about it as pieces of advice I would give to her, or things I would say to her if she were older, or, for her to keep in mind for the future or something like that. And so I'm trimming off some pieces of this trim, and I'm just trimming it into circles so that I have these intact circles with hearts in them. Rather than cutting a straight edge at the beginning and ending of each of those bits of trim. And that adds a little bit of extra texture and dimension. I could have even sewn over them to give even more texture and dimension, but I didn't in this case. I'm thinking about putting a little extra cluster of embellishments, or I guess some extra embellishments on top of the cluster of flowers in the bottom right-hand corner of that photo. And I'm thinking that'll either hold my title or a little sentiment, and I'm not entirely sure. Now, I feel like this layout is a little bit disjointed because it has that blue and teal. I find blue and teal difficult to work with together because they don't really go all that well together. This washi tape has lots of the blue that's in the trim, but it also has some of the teal or turquoise color in it as well, just a tiny bit of that teal or turquoise color. So whenever I'm having trouble matching two things together, I try to find an element that has both of the colors in it, and that sometimes helps you tie together otherwise disparate items. So I'm going to come back to that idea shortly, but for now I'm just using that washi tape for that purpose. And so now I'm thinking about the title, and I want to use these cork letters that come in the kit. So I'm trying to spell out the word Sweet Sammy. We do call Sam Sammy. Her full name is Samantha. We sometimes call her Sam, and we sometimes call her Sammy. And just the phrase Sweet Sammy sounds kind of charming to me. So I am going to look for all of those letters. And these cork letters are, I thought they might be a little delicate, but they're actually holding up to lots of wear and tear of spilling them out and gathering them up, and none of them are getting, I thought they might because they're so thin, but none of them are getting bent or broken or anything. They're not too brittle, which is one thing that I was a little bit worried about, so I'm happy to report that they're good letters to work with. And now I'm thinking that I'd like to have a home for my title. I like to have homes for things on my page. And this sticker that actually came in the other kit, so this is the January kit, I think that sticker is going to make a good home for the title if I reduce it down a little bit. So I'm going to call it Sam. And I don't know what I'm going to add. I'm thinking I could use some little mini market letter stickers above it to say Sweet Sam or something like that. I do want to outline these letters just to make them white. I have several white elements over on the left side that I just want to bring some white into the embellishments that are around the photo as well, so that it doesn't look so different from the elements on the edge. So I'm using my white jelly roller, which I will show you in a second what it looks like. I'm going to hold it up for you. This is my favorite white gel pen these days. I've also used the white Signo gel liner, and that is an okay one, but I find that this jelly roller works even better. Actually, it's called a jelly roll pen if you're looking for it online. Now I'm just going to, these cork letter stickers aren't actually stickers. I might have called them stickers, but they're actually die cuts. So I'm going to attach these onto the colorful sticker background using my tiny attacher. And I decided to not use my gold staples and just use my plain staples, which I keep in my Tim Holtz tiny attacher. And then I thought, again, I'm looking for ways to bring white into this. And I thought maybe these foam letter stickers that also come in the January Freckled Fawn Oh Dear Me kit might look cute. Now this says Happy Sam, and I was meaning it as in the word happy describes Sam, like she's happy, but it's an awkward phrase, Happy Sam. It seems like it should be like happy birthday or happy Sam is happy, or I don't know. It's not quite working from a grammatic point of view, I guess. Grammar point of view. So instead, I'm going to call it Smiley Sam, because Sam is quite smiley. She's always full, she just has such a beautiful temperament. She's always smiling and laughing and having fun. So I think Smiley Sam just works a little bit better. It makes a little bit better sense, and it describes her quite well. So I'm going to put this down with some ATG. So I'm just putting the ATG in the center of the photo so that I can slip my layered embellishments in around the edges. And I'm going to attach it to the background paper right away so that I can attach some of these embellishments to the background paper, and some of it are slipping in between the photo and the mat. I'm referring to the photo that I took before I took this all apart, just to make sure that I really liked how the flowers were splaying around the photo, and I liked how some of the flowers were tucked in behind the photo and some were tucked over top of the photo, and so I just wanted to replicate that. So I'm liking how that top little bunch of flowers looks, and now I'm going to, I'm actually veering a little bit off of my photo. I think I will move this all up a little bit so that you can see it in a second. Sorry that it's out of frame. There you go. And I'm veering a little bit from my photo here because I just want it to look a little bit different than it was in the photo. I'm putting some behind and some in between and some out front. I'm grabbing an extra little blue piece to put down here just to, I don't want all the blue to be in one spot. So because I have two blue flowers side by side over here, I thought I would put an extra blue flower off on the other side of the red one, just to make it a little bit more interesting and random looking. And now I'm going to line these all up the way they were in my photo that I took. And I've layered the flare badge with a piece of foam, the foam die cut, not foam, the felt die cut pieces with the similar color, so that the turquoise flare badge is on the turquoise piece of felt and the burgundy one is on the burgundy felt. And I just used a piece of wax paper to play around with placement of that title piece that says Sam. And then I just trimmed off the overlapping little dangly part on the E so that it blends right in with the Y and looks like it's all one word. So now I'm just, at the last second, I decided to change that I, the dot on the I, for a cute little foam heart to dot the I. And then I thought, as I'm lining up all of those elements on the right hand side there, I'm thinking I wish I had something white over here, because it feels like there's just not enough white. Like the flowers on the top and bottom corners of this photo are just very dark, and then there's nothing similar on the other side, like where all those chipboard pieces are lined up. And so my first idea was to put a little cluster of 3 of these foam stickers, and they didn't look quite right sitting on top. So then I decided to put those little sparkly stickers underneath of them, and that integrates them a little bit better. And then I decided to put some little enamel and dots and rhinestones from my stash. Those are from an old Bo Bunny collection, and those make it look a little bit better, but still they kind of get lost amongst the flowers. So that's not quite right. I'm just going to think about it for a little while and go back to this task. And this is often how I solve my scrapbooking problems, is I leave them alone for a few minutes. Like, I don't like how that looks at all over in the top left-hand corner. But instead of fiddling with it right now, I'm going to do this more easy task, because I already have the embellishments all lined up and set out, and I have a photo to follow. So I'm going to go ahead and line these up and have an easier time with it. This will build your confidence if you're not sure what you're doing, and it will also just give you a time to process the information of what like while I'm doing this, I'm thinking, what else do I have? What else might I want to bring up there? Do I want a sticker that I could put there? Do I have something in my stash? Is there something in the kit that I already have picked out to use that I can use there? And so I'm just kind of working through that while I go through the process of lining up all of these pieces, which is a much less thoughtful process because I've already lined them up. And now I'm just going back and adding the glue. Actually, I'm not adding the glue quite yet. I will go back and glue those pieces. Right now, what I was doing was I was actually taking the sticker backing off of those chipboard pieces. I glued down the felt pieces, but I'm going to have to go back and re-glue those stickers because they're going to pop off, the chipboard ones, which is really common for chipboard. So then here's something. So this shape is almost the same as, well, it is the same shape as that shape underneath of the word Sam, but the phrase isn't quite right. But there were also a set of stickers that were the exact same shape, and I can nest the sticker inside of that badge and then pull off those little foam pieces that I had already picked out. And now this becomes an embellishment that does a couple of things. It brings some white up into that corner of the page, and it quite a lot of it actually, and it also brings some of that blue. And remember how I was saying I was having a hard time marrying those two elements, the turquoisey teal color and then the bluer blue color. And so this is a bluer color, and it's not exactly the same as the blue that the felt is on the other side and the blue in the floral, but it just adds more blue to that corner, and so it serves a couple of different purposes. I went back to that set of Bo Bunny stickers, enamel dots and rhinestones, and just picked out a couple more. different ones. I just did a little bit of a switch. Now this badge is, it's just like a sewn badge that you would sew onto your backpack or something. And it has a really sticky adhesive on it. So you don't need to glue it down. You can just pull off the backing and stick it right down. So now here I am going back with my Tombow Mono Multi Adhesive, which is what I use to glue non-paper products onto paper products. And although in this case I'm gluing chipboard to paper, so they're both technically paper products, but I like this glue because it's very, very strong. You can use a tiny little bit of it, and so you don't have to worry about oozing if you use a tiny little bit of it. And because it's so strong, you don't have to worry about it letting go, even though you've used just a tiny little bit. So I am just, it looks like I'm putting a lot because I'm going back and forth, but I'm actually only putting a tiny bit, and then the back and forth movement is just spreading it out a little bit on those sticker pieces. So here's the close-up video portion of this one that just shows all of these elements up close. This is a really different layout for me. I like to switch it up sometimes and do something that's a little bit outside of my comfort zone. It also keeps my albums looking a little bit fresher and more varied. And I don't work with florals very often, but when I do, I really enjoy it. So this was a fun one for me because of that. And it also came together very, very quickly. The whole thing came together in under an hour, and that included sharing those, the other video that I just shared before this one on my channel. So it took me a very short amount of time, and now I can run off to my hair appointment and let this process for you guys. So by the time I come back, it'll be ready to post. So thanks so much for watching. Have a really great scrappy week.